Testing 1 2. Oh man, guys, you won't believe what just happened. I spent about 15 minutes recording. No, I shouldn't say recording, talking to the mic, and the record button was not pressed, and I was like, that was fantastic what I just did, and it turns out that nothing's happened. Oh man. So look, welcome back to the Social Work Race, and I haven't been around enough. I've been dropping off in terms of not producing the content that I said I would, and I feel guilty, definitely. So my apologies on that. But you know what? You turned up and shared, and you listened, and you looked at my other platforms. So I want to give you an insight before I go into the topic today. Just burping because I just had a biscuit. Going into the topic today of step-parent abuse, I just wanted to give you an update as to what's been happening lately. Some good things have been happening. If you go into the link in my bio, I don't know if it's on the Social Work Race, but we'll see what we can do. But if you go onto my TikTok page or Instagram page, or on those two pages, you will find the link to all of the content and platforms and everything that I produce. Not only just myself, but myself and others. Okay, it's an interesting time right now because, as planned, we're trying to make sure that we reach all the students in social work, especially in the UK, all the frontline workers. I want everyone to have a voice. But this was, again, I'm just reminding you, and I have to remind myself, this is a place that was born out of not having access to much content for social workers, particularly social work students. And that's where my journey began. So I think I started this about 5 years ago, about 5 years ago. And I was looking for content. How can I learn about social work and what it means without looking at some of the dead clinical content that's already on YouTube? And that's the only place I could go. That's all I knew at the time. So I thought, I'm going to do it myself. So here we are, the Social Work Race platform, or podcast, should I say. I will get tongue-tied because my brain is moving faster than my mouth, and that's what happens. So if you go on to, here we go, look, it's coming to mind now. So here we go. I have a Patreon page, guys. If you go there, you will be supporting the cause. And what are we doing there? Well, a couple of things. We're allowing students and newly qualified, or in fact, let me say this: we're allowing people who subscribe to access exclusive content. Number one. Number two, particularly newly qualified, those doing the ASY or student social workers, you have access to one-to-one live support. Okay, it could be a phone call or a video call, whatever. We've started that already. It's working nicely. It's helping the vision evolve the needs of the people. Do you know what I mean? So I'm working with students who are trying to make sense of their assignments, especially over the last couple of years through COVID and lockdown and the virtuality of social work now. Sometimes students are just afraid to talk to their tutors, So here I am, I'm helping that cause, and we've done so real nice. So if you're struggling, or if you want advice on anything, or if you want a topic to be discussed, or if you want anything specific for you that you have a need of in this game, let me know. And you can also contact me privately on the socialworkrace@gmail.com. All right. So there we have it. That's my Patreon page, the Social Work Race. We also have an Insta page that we keep live now. I do my live sessions on there. And again, to be more regular, going live, excuse me as I swallow, I'm sure you could hear that. The Instagram live is where I do my live discussions. They're public as well. And then on TikTok, you'll get my posts. All right. So I appreciate you all. That's what it is at the moment. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to go, but social media is a full-time job. Bear with me as I get through this this thing called social media. I'm on like 5 platforms and I'm struggling. So if you can help me, let me know. Anyway, let's get into the topic. I wanted to talk about this topic for a long time, step-parent abuse, because of what I see. Why am I doing this? Yeah, for a number of reasons. Well, I'm going to do this today to help us understand what the topic looks like in reality, in practice, and how to assess and work with it. All right. This is all me and my opinion. I'm referring to a couple of studies. But why it was triggered was because I was just seeing a constant cycle. I handle a lot of abuse cases. Or should I say, in this team, I assess a lot of abuse cases. It means me going out to families and children and understanding what the risks are. And I'm frustrated. At its core, at its foundation, maybe, is what am I seeing? I'm seeing both men and women, but more so women who are not understanding what it means to have a blended family. They rush in, and they will more often take in a man. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, men and women, but it's mostly women because women are usually housed and men are not. Women will take in a man without doing the homework. They usually will then take in, and you'll understand this more as I go through a couple of stats. They usually take in men who have a history, but this history is played down or spun to the women. A history of domestic violence or a volatile relationship with their ex-partner who they have children with or not. There is a pattern of women taking in men who they haven't done no homework over, and they have now suffered abuse themselves or their children have at the hands of these men. That's the classic case. There are variations in that, but this is the pattern I'm seeing. And I'm going to take you to a little bit of data. I mean, this particular session isn't looking for solution. Sorry guys, my mic cut out there. So this is part 2. So yeah, this is the pattern I'm seeing. So I'm going to go to a study. This was done in, what year was it? I just had it here. 1984. So I'm glad it was way back because we knew then. And I'm going to read you the abstract, break it down a little bit. This is an analysis of interviews obtained from a random sample of 930 adult women in San Francisco, revealed that 17%, or 1 out of every 6 women who had a stepfather as a principal figure in their childhood years was sexually abused by him. The comparable figures for biological fathers was 2%. In addition, when a distinction was made between very serious sexual abuse, and because we're professionals, I'm going to read this, okay? So a little bit of a trigger warning, pause or just forward in about 15-20 seconds. This includes experiences ranging from forced penile, vaginal penetration to non-forceful attempted fellatio, cunnilingus, and anal intercourse, and other less serious forms. 47% of the cases of sexual abuse by stepfathers were at the very serious level of violation, compared to 26% by biological fathers. Yeah. So when I was looking at the data, and I want you to go and do some exploring as well. I've done some through the UK websites and through .gov as well. And you will find that the figures are similar. However, they can range much higher. When we look at 17% compared to 2, it's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So you're looking at 7 to 8 times the rate for step-parent sexual abuse. That's why I brought this up. Because I'm seeing this. Okay? This is the whole pattern here. Step-parents and allegations. And they point to something called, and this is something that you can put in your assessments, guys. Put it in your assessment. Something called the Cinderella effect. and it's a phenomenon, I'm reading this now, is a phenomenon of higher incidence of different forms of child abuse and mistreatment by step parents than by biological parents. So it takes its name from the fairy tale character Cinderella. It's about a girl who was mistreated by her stepsisters and stepmother. Evolutionary psychologists describe the effect as a byproduct of a bias towards kin and a conflict between reproductive partners of investing in young that are unrelated to the other partner. So it just basically, there is one less barrier of restraint, which is biology. That's what it's saying. So because you're not of my family, I can have access to you sexually. That's really the summary of what we've just read. Okay. It is frustrating to see the work that is not done in relationships, I think, and I'm concerned. And what it is that with social care, we are behind the curtain of society. So we see the impact of people's freedoms and choices. We are the ones clearing up the mess. And the decisions that we make are not appreciated by everyone. Okay? That's the frustrating thing, is because whilst people do have the freedom to be with who they want, it is important to be responsible with that freedom. And what we're seeing is parents are not aware of that level of responsibility. Because when you blend families, when you bring another person into your relationship, there is a lot of work that needs to be done because children are involved, much less just yourself. So it is a frustrating topic because I wish that parents would address this. So I'm going to go through a few things here before I go into that. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this with my own eyes, and I've seen it for years, a few years, what parents are doing. And then I check the stats, and it's more serious than I first thought. And I've been looking at this for years, don't worry. It's not anything new that I've come across. It's just only now I'm talking about it. Parents are rushing into deep, intimate relationships before they've done the work. What am I seeing? I'm seeing desperation to not be alone. I'm seeing mothers choose boyfriends over their children because they don't want to be alone. I'm seeing girls making allegations against a boyfriend who has a history himself. And we know, and the mother doesn't know, or she knows a version of it. And they think that because they're in the honeymoon phase of this relationship, it's okay. And they keep saying it themselves. I didn't think he was like this. And the work that needs to be done isn't done. So on the part of the mother, firstly, she needs to consider first, how is this impacting the children? How fast am I going? She must do even more work. What's he like with his mum, his dad, his sisters, his cousins, or his ex-partner who he's most likely got children with? Why can't he see his children? Well, let me speak to his ex. What was their relationship like? She says he was beating her. He says she was beating him. That's a red flag, people. And that's why it's frustrating. This is what I'm seeing. Sorry, I'm raising my voice because it's passion. It's passion. But it is passion because these children are actually the ones who feel the impact. So there's a lot of passion in me for protecting children. But what does this mean for practice? It means you have to be honest with parents about what you're seeing. You have to show them the patterns. And so you have to ask questions. What was that relationship like before? I've worked with parents who have only ever had abusive relationships. They've never been in a conducive relationship, a peaceful relationship, not with their parents. Neither have they ever seen one. So you have to look at their history. Ask questions, not only what you know on social services records, but ask them, what they understand about their history. I've worked with someone who they saw the patterns but didn't sit with it. They didn't understand it. And I said to them, are you sure you are ready for this relationship? No, he's really good. He's really helpful. He's really good and he's really helpful. That's what you hear. He's never harmed us. He's always helped. Next thing you know, he's beating the life out of her and the children. You know, this is common. And this is the majority of my cases. So I'm literally screaming at the mic. Guys, ask questions and document that you've told parents. Document in the assessment. This is it. The Cinderella effect is something to be considered as a theoretical approach to understanding the family. But put in the assessment, I have asked Mum, what due diligence did she put in place for this man or this woman? And document what her answers are. It helps us it gives us insight into her thinking. Without these questions, you haven't done your assessment, you know. You can't, unless, if you've got compliance, that is. You can't draw any real solid conclusions. But give us insight into their thinking when you do your assessment. What did she say to that question? I've had my mum say he was really nice. So nice, but then he's ended up being on the run, he's on bail because he has beaten her in front of the kids. Yeah. So this is what I tell parents. I'm concerned that you haven't done the work. I'm also concerned because I know things about your ex that you don't. And he is living with you. I'm concerned about the welfare of the children. Can we work together to make this right? To make this a better place for your children? Because they will at some point, and you will often see with these children, talk to the school. And you can tell the parent, because, and I've said it to parents, when you talk to the school, they can see something's not right. Yes, it was nice at first, but after a while, their true character has come through. Has their partner demonstrated that they've done the work since their last relationship? What have you learned since your last relationship? If their reflection is that it's not them, it's her. It's not him, it's her. That's not good enough, because everyone has got mistakes to make in a relationship. And if they can't give you a really good, do you know what, it was partly me and partly her, my fault was it. If they can't do that, they're not worth considering. And so you have to walk them through that kind of mindset of, what reflection have you done? And ask the parent, did you ask those reflective questions? And not only that, but for the parent making a choice of partner, what work have you done to learn how to choose? So we have to ask these questions to the parents to get the depth of thinking. And if they can't go that deep, then that can be documented as well. And work can be done around helping them to secure. And there are services to support that with the police as well. That's what we do as social workers. I hope this helped. If you like it, let me know. You can message me on thesocialworkrace@gmail.com. Please share it with someone. Please subscribe to the channel. And more importantly, look after yourselves.